There we go. Not all of us have access to a, um, a store where we have all this lovely organic produce, just produce in general, outside of maybe, head lettuce, tomatoes, celery, and carrots and onions. And so that's why you'll see the cover, it says real food for real people. Because some of that other stuff we might buy once because we'll have seen somebody use it, then we never use it again. So I'm trying to keep things simple and what we probably will use. Anyway, so one of the first things that I like to have on hand is my crackers. This is for me. The rest of my family might eat them, might not, because it has the pulp of some more bitter foods in there, like the grapefruit. It's got a more herb quality to it, but it's really tasty if you put it in like a dip or something. So like today we're making this creamy dill dressing. You just thicken it up or use a little less water, and it's a dip, and it would be really lovely on a cracker. I do also make bread for my family because that's just how they roll. But we're not going to do that.
That's a shame.
So again, it's being prepared, you know, just what is it that you have there and what's going to be in your life. It saves money, it saves you time, it saves you stress. So having some type of a bread or a dip holder or something like that is the first thing. The second thing is a dip. The yogurts are the basis for most of my dips and dressings. That's why I included it in here, because you can build anything once you make a basic yogurt. You can make it out of almonds, almonds and coconut, cashews. I've been experimenting with hazelnuts because for me, hazelnut is a superfood. They don't have the same sugar content, and so it doesn't work quite as well. So I'm going to be using cashews because they're easier. Then again, I also will use other things. So I experiment with those. So find out what nuts or foods work best for you, and then use that basic yogurt recipe. I know Steph does a lot of that. Sandy's in that community as well, the Friendly Flora, and she'll use sweet potatoes or carrots or things like that to make yogurts with. And who knows, maybe we'll do something like that later. We'll have Sandy in as a guest chef. So first thing is a bread, second thing is a dip, and then I usually make a salad or a soup and a dessert. So those are the things that I base my preparation on the weekend for. And so that's kind of the recipes I gave here. But it all starts with looking at what's your life going to be like in the future, just the next week or so. And what can I do to make it easier, to help me not have another addition to my stress? Because stress is the one thing that really creates inflammation in our bodies. Yay, Rose. All these faces that I love and adore. So anyway, we'll get going. The first thing I'm going to make is a nut milk, and I'm going to make it out of my hazelnuts. Now I'm making the yogurt out of cashews. Now, these are nuts that don't necessarily have to be soaked for a long time, maybe an hour. And even if you don't soak them, it's not a big deal. So let's see here. And again, I'm really happy that you guys are here because you can give me ideas and suggestions on how I'm doing things here, so that if I need to move things or do things differently, you are friendly to me. You'll be gentle. So let's see here. And I have pretty rudimentary equipment. I don't have any of the really nifty gadgets Dr. Rita Marie has. Maybe I will as I grow up, but right now I don't. So I have here, and I don't think you can see it very well. We'll see. Here we go. These are the hazelnuts I've had soaking. And so then, and you will hear me say occasionally from time to time stuff about Pampered Chef, not because I'm trying to sell you on more Pampered Chef, but because sometimes they have things that I use and have found them useful. And so there you go. You may hear me talk about Young Living Oils because I sell them, just because it's a resource. So there you go. They also have, and I just ordered them, so I don't have them yet, but I'm looking forward to it, a fine mesh strainers. I don't know about you, but it's really difficult to find fine mesh strainers. So
I don't have any.
yeah, I don't either. And
have
I
any.
really wanted them. So when I saw they had them, I ordered them. Hold on one second. I don't think so. Let's see. If you don't mind just staying here for a second, watch it as it comes to a boil, and then put it on low.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you
All
doing?
right.
See, we're talking.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, talk. You guys can talk to each other.
Sell us everything you have there, Lynn, okay? Don't worry about it.
Ah,
So I never made nut yogurt until
really?
I saw Lynn's recipe, and then I tried it. I had to get up in the middle of the night twice because I didn't know if I was going to just evaporate it away or something.
I've never tried that before. I've never done nut milk or any of that stuff, so I thought I'd see how it is.
You know, I used to make regular milk yogurt for my kids when they were growing up, and I didn't have a
Sure.
yogurt machine, so what I used was a heat pad, a normal heat pad, the one you put on your stomach or your leg or someplace.
Yeah.
And I would
Yeah.
make sure it was one that didn't shut off, okay? And then I would just put it in the kitchen counter and cover my glass Pyrex with a towel and leave it there until it was made.
I
Yeah.
have a friend who does that now.
It
Yeah.
was it was really easy. It was really easy.
I don't even do well. Yeah, I don't even do that. The most I do is in the winter time when it's pretty chilly here. I'll put the oven on and get it warm, and then shut it off. And I'll wait for maybe 15 minutes or so, and then put it in there, and just do it overnight. I know a lot of people use the Instant Pot because it has a yogurt setting.
I
So
don't
you
have
can-
one.
I don't either. So I started making yogurt 12 years ago. I remember this now because for my 50th birthday, I surprised everyone and didn't tell them that I was going to California to spend 3 days with this man. His name is Lou Corona, and we did live blood cell analysis, and he spent a couple days just showing me all these different things, and they were very easy. They weren't quite as complicated as most like yogurts. I feel it does not need to be quite that complicated that I see a lot of other places do it. And it's basically like in that recipe, it's the nut, some liquid, you mix it up and put your probiotic in it. That's all I do. So, and then I just let it sit for about 24 hours to culture.
See, I put the probiotics I take at night. That's what I put in
Yeah,
it
that's
because
exactly what I use.
yeah, that's what I do. And then I put it in the dehydrator. really low,
Oh, that's a great idea. I know Dr. Rita Marie does that.
way at the bottom, because it was a penny
Yeah.
round Pyrex. I didn't know if the dehydrator would just sort of evaporate it away or something because I had never done it. So I got up twice. I put it in about 6 in the afternoon, and I got up around 1 and then again around 4, and it was still there. Anyway, I put it in first for 16 hours, then I divided it in two, and I put another one on for another 4 hours, and it was delicious. Put half of it in there.
Yeah, now that you mention that, I know Dr. Rita Marie has done that too. I just leave it out on my counter. I cover it with like a towel or a paper towel. I'm waiting for Sandy to pipe in because she does a lot of yogurts.
She does a lot of
I
yogurt.
think she's talking.
I was
There
trying
you go.
to unmute myself. So the reason I don't do it on the counter anymore is because Steph, who's our probiotic teacher in Friendly Flora Collective, she teaches us how to ferment because many of us have gut issues, which I did in the beginning. My gut's a lot better. So we don't put yogurt on the counter because wild bacteria can get in there and
Right.
ruin it. Okay, so we always want to have a temperature, a dehydrator, heating pad, the oven, the pilot light, the instant pot. And we want the yogurt ingredients to be between 99 to 110 degrees. And when we heat it that way, we do it this way, we have way less chance of the wild bacteria. So I
Right.
wanted to say that. And then one more thing I want to say, because I'm trying to do some other things because I'm always behind. I'm doing food things, but I'm always behind. So
You're right where you're meant to
any,
be.
any tips you have on doing things? Well, part of the reason is I've got to wash everything a certain way. But anyway, I wanted to say one other thing. I've got this Instant Pot, and I tried making yogurt a couple times, and it really didn't work. And then I called the company, and they said, well, it really wasn't meant to be for non-dairy yogurt. And I said, well, I know a lot of people in my groups make it all the time. I just got to find out what they do. So I'm still trying to carve out the time. There are two people that told me what they do, and I was going to try that.
Yeah, let us know.
Oh, I will eventually when I get to it, but I don't know when. Oh my God.
I
So
understand.
I have a wacky dehydrator, but I've learned how to use it so it works for me, and I don't have to babysit it as much. I usually put it in at night, and then I check it, the next day between 8 and 10 hours. Now, before, my yogurts would take at least 10 hours, but now they're taking 8. But there's some certain things I'm doing differently. So I'm always experimenting. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I still am it's always a big experiment. I put it in the dehydrator. I wonder, how are you going to come out? I don't know.
There you
Happened.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
So-
I would love to hear more about how you do that, because I just, like you, I'm always, there's always something that has to get done. So I've kind of stuck with this method because it's quick. It makes the yogurt and it gets it done. And then I'm using the probiotics that I know my body needs. I do keep it covered. So I'm assuming
You're doing it on the counter. Is that right? You're going to show us on
I
the
usually
counter like
just
Dr.
leave it on the
Rita
counter. I just usually
Okay.
leave it on the
Yeah.
counter, except during the winter because somebody left me a message here. So Rose says she puts her yogurt in the dehydrator. Feel free to join us here, Rose.
In Florida, you can't leave anything at night out in the country. You never know what's going to land on it.
I've heard that.
I
Yeah,
decided want to
I've
taste
heard
it.
that.
No matter how much you clean the counters and the rest of your house, it's Florida. It's
Oh.
another world.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people too.
Interesting.
So Beatrice, which nuts did you use this last batch that you did? Which nuts and how did
Okay,
you, what, did you use a dehydrator or a heating pad or what?
this is what I did. I soaked 1 cup of cashews, but I had 1 quart of cashew milk that I had bought at the supermarket to make yogurt about 2 weeks before. Anyway, so I decided to jump in and make it because I had never made nut yogurt. So I blended. I first, because it was in the refrigerator, I warmed it up to 110 degrees.
You warmed up everything or just the
No,
milk?
just the milk. Just the
Oh,
milk.
okay.
And then I
Okay.
blended the cashews in it, and I put in the probiotics I take are 112 million per capsule. So I use
And what's the name of it, please?
it's VSL
Oh.
number 3. VSL
Yes.
3.
Yeah, that's a good.
Okay. I never
VSL
heard,
3.
never heard
Yeah,
of it.
Steph has recommended it. She recommended that before she recommended custom probiotics.
Oh, I never heard that one. Huh,
Yes,
okay.
well, there's a situation with IBS, so that's what the doctor recommended. That's what I had here in the house, and I put 4
Right.
capsules in it, and
Okay.
then I put it in the dehydrator. Now, my dehydrator is an Excalibur, and it tells you it's a small Excalibur, not the humongous one. It tells you at what temperature. So I think it was about 110. And
Okay.
the only reason why I kept looking at it is because I forgot to cover it up. So the first time I look at it, it had sort of like
A crust.
A film,
crust
like
on
a
top.
film.
And I said, not that I want this. So I just mixed it all up and put a paper towel over it with a rubber band like you recommended. And I put it in. But with 1 cup of cashews and 1 quart of cashew milk, I made 4 cups. And then I just left
Okay,
it
so
dehydrated.
can I ask you something? Let me ask
Yes.
you something else. Did your yogurt come out thick? Because that's a lot of water for a small amount of nuts. So I'm
So
curious.
let me show you because I have it right here. So after 16 hours, if I can open it, I can't. After 16 hours,
You may
it was
have to hit
thick.
the top of it.
That's right. It was thick. But then I divided it in 2.
Oh,
One I
Uh-huh.
put in the refrigerator and another one I put in the dehydrator again. So for after 20 hours, this is what I got.
Okay.
Very
Okay,
thick.
just to let you know, Steph does not recommend us dehydrating or fermenting any longer, especially in the dehydrator type thing, any longer than 12 hours.
I've heard
unless
her
it's
say
a,
that. I've heard
yeah,
her say that.
unless it's a root vegetable. Sometimes root vegetables need a little bit more than 12.
Hmm.
But that's wonderful. That's really
So,
great.
I figured that it would be thicker because of the cashew milk. And the one I bought only said distilled water and cashews, and that's it. Nothing else was added to it.
That's
Um,
great. I mean, there's so many variations we can do.
Yeah.
There's never any right or wrong to
But
all this.
I was in a class with Dr. Rita Marie once where Steph said that no more than 12 hours because then other things might grow on it.
Exactly.
And that's one of the reasons I kept looking at it. I said, the moment it turns green, I'll just throw it away.
It won't be green, it'll be pink. It'll be pink, usually
Pink.
something like a
So-
pink. But the crust on the top, the brown on the top, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
unless, another thing, it can have black spots. If you see black or browns, especially black spots,
Like
No good.
speckled.
No good.
no good. But if you're brave enough, you can just take it off. If it's just on the top, you can skim the top and get rid of it.
I know that from making sauerkraut, but this is the first time I make nut yogurt.
Good for
I
you.
said for years and
Good
years
for
I
you.
made milk yogurt, and milk yogurt is easier, I think, because
Yes.
I had no idea how the nuts. Now I'm going to try other nuts. I have pecans and I have walnuts.
Let me tell you, walnuts will be bitter.
Yeah.
And sunflower seeds aren't so good either.
So
But
Well-
walnuts, at least my experience, the walnuts are bitter. Maybe your experience won't be that.
No, because they are, and they also because they don't have the same sugar content
I
Yeah,
never even
the other
thought
nut.
about the sugar content.
But even though I add things to, maybe I never did. I could try that again, adding like a teaspoon of coconut sugar, or you can make it with coconut milk,
Milk. Well,
Yeah,
or
I,
coconut, I mean, or coconut water. Those are
water.
all higher sugar kinds of things.
I thought
Exactly.
that maybe if I added 1 tablespoon of regular milk yogurt, that would help. And I figured that
You
one
could try
tablespoon
it. You
would
could try
just
it.
would just
Or
sort
the
of
yogurt you
float
just
away.
made.
You could try it.
Or
But the
just
other thing, one more thing I'd like to say while I'm thinking of it,
Yeah.
Beatrice, is you want to get yourself, I don't know if you have one, Lynn, but I love this tool. I can show it to you if you like. It's a, what do you call it? A laser? What's it called? It's a thermometer.
Bit of thermometer, yeah.
oh
That's like a gun. What's that called? I have it right here. I'll go get it.
yeah.
Anyway, it's not what temperature the dehydrator is. You
It's-
want to test your ingredients, and you don't want to stick things in it because you could contaminate. That's the word, contaminate it. So this little thing just points and tells you what the
Oh.
temperature is in the yogurt, and you don't have to put anything in it. You just open
Oh.
it up a little bit. Right when you open the dehydrator, open up, and then, test it. Let me get it.
Yeah.
You know,
I would love
Sandy is right
it.
because the first time I checked it in the dehydrator, the yogurt was cold. The dehydrator was warm,
Mhm.
but the yogurt, because I did taste it, I did,
Good.
and it was cold.
You won't have to babysit it so much once you figure out how to do
Good.
it.
Maybe I can sleep
Because
at night
in the
then.
beginning, I was up all night, or
Yeah.
if I do it all day, I'm up all day. And now I don't have to do that. I just have to try and get up by 8 hours, 9 at the most, so it doesn't get overdone. Because it gets overdone, it's kind of cheesy. You can still eat it.
Oh,
It will be a
yeah.
little more sour, but it's still good.
Yeah.
So this is called an infrared thermometer.
That's
And this
it.
is what it looks like. It's only $20
Where'd you get it?
on Amazon.
On Amazon? What's
Yeah.
the brand name?
ETEKCITY.
ETEK.
T like Tom, EKCIT like Tom, Y, infrared thermometer.
Okay.
This is just, you point it like this in your ingredients, and that's it. Now,
Thank
I use saran wrap, and just crush it on the sides. And the reason I would not recommend paper towels, many of you know I've been studying parasites for the last year and a half. And a lot of the paper towels have parasites on them. So
Thank
you're
you.
just going to get parasites in your yogurt. And I'll tell you more about
How
cashews.
about wax?
Cashews are one of the worst things for parasites, but I finally found a brand that doesn't have they're not too bad.
Which
So I
one?
stuck-
What
It's
about
called
parchment paper?
about what?
What about parchment paper?
That would be good. That would be
Okay.
perfect. I don't know why I haven't done it, but I just haven't.
So
But
what's-
anyway, that's more ecological.
So I'm not
part,
only
right?
fighting Florida, I'm fighting paper towels now.
I know, I know. You don't know. That's why my life is so complicated, because I have to do this treatment of the nuts and all the produce to remove as many parasites as I can.
Yeah.
And it takes time. That's what I'm doing now. I'm washing all the vegetables and everything. But if you can get this equal exchange cashews, you'll be a lot safer.
Thank you.
So where do you get that at?
I hope I don't. Let's see. Oh yeah, I have it written down. I get it online from this company. They're very conscientious. They're small farms. It is from India, and I really like them. Now, I used to use 3 cups of nuts for all nuts and all vegetables, and I still do most of the time. However, with these cashews, they're more expensive, and all of a sudden I was just using 2 packages of them, which is 2 cups. And after I do my cleaning, they are like 3 cups. So I have saved some money that way because I will tell you, these cashews are more expensive.
They sure
Now,
are.
no, these equal exchange ones, even more expensive than anything you paid. Now, let me tell you where you get them. I'm looking it up right this second, and then okay, shop dot equal exchange dot co-op.
Shop,
COOP.
SHOP,
Yes, dot
Dot equal.
equal exchange dot co-op, COOP.
Okay.
And I pay for a 6-pack of 8 ounces in each pack, I pay $33.
Well, that's not too bad.
Really?
I
So
don't,
that's, what did I figure? Yeah, wait, actually, because I usually like to get enough. They have sales every so often, and then I get the sale and get a whole bunch. And then I don't pay shipping. And then, let's see, what did I figure? How much they cost each one? $5, I think?
Not that bad compared with
No, that wouldn't be. Wait a minute. No, it's not $5. That was another company when I first ordered them from a different company, the same brand. I paid $10.99 each. And that was kind of, oh yeah, they cost $5.50 each when I get a 6-pack of 8 ounces for $33. Yeah, that's not really so bad. $5.50 each. Yeah. So they do have sales sometimes. And anyway, I love this company. And like I'm telling you, there are way less parasites in this one. I went through so many different brands. I used to buy at nuts.com, and their nuts were so full of parasites. I stopped that,
How
especially
could you tell?
their cashews. So I'm really glad I just kept trying different brands and trying
how
different
do you
brands.
know about their parasite content, Sandy?
I'm sorry, what?
How did you know about the parasite content?
Oh, good question. You can see either an oily kind of solution on top after you clean them, when they're in the bowl, or you can see, now I use a mixture for nuts. I only use hydrogen peroxide in the water, soak them for 20 minutes. That's it.
Yep.
And you can see like kind of, sometimes you can see some bubbly stuff come up. And people say, well, hydrogen peroxide, and then my vegetables, I do hydrogen or produce by hydrogen peroxide. It's food grade
Right.
hydrogen peroxide and baking soda. And they say, well, bubbles would come up with that. No, yes, true. However, there are only 3 things that are the worst so far for me where bubbles come up. The other ones, bubbles don't come up. The water may be dirty or look, have a certain appearance, but it isn't like the cashews. Or 3 things: cashews, romaine lettuce, and mushrooms. Those have been the worst. And I stopped eating all those for a while, but now I know what to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I tell everybody about this stuff. All
No,
right.
I know. That's why I'm so happy you were here. You can.
I think I'm going to teach a class someday, and like
Well,
you,
you just
Lynn,
did.
pardon? I know it's going to
Yeah.
be. First, I'm going to be on Dr. Rita Marie's show for a while. I'll do
Right.
that. I'll do 1 or 2 of those, but who knows? It might be next year till I get to do it on my own. Who knows? But I know it's a learning curve, and I know it looks real easy even when you're in the kitchen with Dr. Rita Marie. It looks so easy.
Yeah.
And then you try and do it by yourself, and oh my God, it's like all hell breaks loose. I know.
Oh, that's why I was really grateful you guys were here, because you are friendly faces. And so
Oh,
as
yeah.
I do this,
Oh,
you can
Oh, yeah.
give me ideas. Like, I just have my laptop here. And so I don't have fancy lighting or all the lovely things that she does. I'm sure when she started out, she didn't either. So it's just,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
learn as
definitely.
you go along.
Definitely. And I'll email you feedback afterwards. That'll be easier for me.
All right.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
far, you're doing terrific.
Thank you. So I've got my hazelnuts in my water. All right. So it's a cup of hazelnuts and 4 cups of water. I'm going to mute myself for a second because I know blenders can be kind of
Loud.
loud.
I'm gonna try and,
So you guys can keep talking.
So Sandy, how do we get the yogurt ready in 12 hours? Or 10 hours?
okay, less than 12. Yeah, less than
than
12.
12.
I can't tell you exactly why mine's going for 8 hours. Even if I had 4 huge bowls and then one medium on top of the floor, and it was still all 8 hours. I know what I did this time, but I won't do it for cashews again. Okay, I used coconut water in a lot of, because I have a lot of old coconut water. So I thought I'm going to try and see if it ferments. Oh yeah, it sure did. So I won't be using coconut water in cashews again because it came out way too sweet. And I couldn't ferment it anymore because it already had that brown film on the top, so I didn't want to ferment it anymore. And then some of them came out slightly cheesy. I didn't do coconut water. I don't think I didn't use coconut water in all of them. But anyway, they all came out. But what you can do, and I do this a lot, and I do it with cashews, and it's good, and it does help it ferment more, is a teaspoon of coconut sugar,
Okay.
a tablespoon of sunflower lecithin. Now that makes
This is
it
in your yogurt?
pardon?
This is in your
I
yogurt?
usually put this in every single yogurt. All of them.
Okay.
A tablespoon of
The coconut sugar doesn't affect your blood sugar?
no, because you know why? The bacteria eats it.
Eats it. Yeah.
It gives more sugar for the bacteria.
All right. So now I know
So-
what I'm going to use with my hazelnuts.
Yeah. So I put, okay, I'll start again. I put a tablespoon of sunflower lecithin, and I put a teaspoon, you can put less, of coconut sugar. And then I put a tablespoon of coconut oil. And that will make it, thicken as well as be creamy. And the sunflower makes it creamy. And then the coconut sugar feeds the bacteria. I was definitely afraid of all this sugar stuff in the beginning,
Yeah.
No. Yes.
but
Well, and I don't do a lot of coconut,
oh, you don't.
especially in the winter time, because it's very cooling for me. And so, and when I did my biome test, it was a minimize. So that means you can have it, just don't have it all the time. I'm getting
Right.
ready to test again, so we'll see.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
Well, you can leave any of those out. Now, the original recipe says 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, but I only use 1.
Yeah.
I only
You're
use
gonna
1.
get to fix anything
And-
here? I want to
and-
see what you're gonna fix.
Oh,
Well,
sure.
wait.
Well, this is what the milk looks like afterwards.
Okay,
And then, so you can buy a nut milk bag. I just use cheesecloth.
hmm,
And then you don't have to do this. I like to do this because then I have less of the nut pulp. And so I'll just pour it in. I will lay this.
so how thick is that?
It's liquid. It's
Oh,
milk.
okay,
So what I'm gonna do is pour it through here. Let's see here.
I haven't done nut milk yet, so I want to see what you're doing.
Okay, well then I'm glad. I'm like, oh, everybody's probably done this.
Perfect.
But so I pour it in. I remember when I was at Dr. Rita Marie's once, I did this, and because she was like, yeah, I never do the nut milk bag thing, but I prefer it that way. And so then I take it. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that, and I squeeze. So I am milking, just like milking. Oops. And you just squeeze it, and then all the pulp is still behind. Now, what I like to do with the pulp is make cookies. So I'll
Good
take,
idea.
yeah, so I take the pulp. I might chop up, so apples for me are a superfood. So I'll chop up an apple and mix that in with a little cinnamon, and then just make them into cookie shapes and dehydrate them.
So do you have to add anything to it to hold your cookies together?
No, because it just uses this pulp here.
Okay.
The pulp is like a flour. See, it's all dry.
Oh, it does come out dry.
Well, it's not totally, I mean, it's not dry, but I mean, it's like that flour.
Right.
So that's all I do. And it's got a good fat content. Let's see what, I'm not going to do the rest of it in here. I usually have a bigger bowl, but so you can see, you know, and it doesn't have the skins. I know sometimes if I have time with almonds, I will soak them and then have the you know, then squeeze the skins off of them. It's not a bad thing if you have the almond skins. They do have trace amounts of arsenic. So if that is something that you're trying to avoid, or if your system is a little more tender, then you're going to probably want to peel the almonds. Now, kind of like Beatrice was talking about, you can actually use this to make a yogurt.
Okay.
That looks so good.
It smells really
I
good.
like, I mean, the making it, the squishing it, that looks good.
It's very cathartic.
Yes, it is.
It's very calming and grounding. It's just like right up there with earthing or something, because you're touching and squeezing and it's really, you know, we've got a full moon coming up here, so you could sit here and just start building your intentions.
I know that's on Sunday night, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an Aries full moon. So it's all about new beginnings, planting seeds. So, you know, plant a seed to start including foods like this in the making. And hopefully this gives you some good ideas. Okay, so that was the first recipe. The next recipe is I'm using cashews. Like I said, but now I know, because I learned from Sandy, I'm gonna try hazelnuts now with, to make the yogurt with the sugar and see how that works. I thought about it, I was afraid to, because it's like, yeah, because I have a tendency, both genetically and it's just, I see the family history towards metabolic syndrome. So I'm careful with my blood sugars, but interestingly, I can eat bananas and they don't raise my blood sugar. So same with apples.
Kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, when I did that Viome test, it came up saying I could have bananas and apples were superfoods, and I'm like, what? So I hadn't had either really for years, and I thought, well, I'll try it. And then I tested, and lo and behold, you know, now it was just one. I wasn't eating 20 bananas a day or anything like that. It was just one banana a day. I don't really need to do that. So anyway, so now I've got my cashews. Right?
I was surprised how sweet the cashews tasted after they were soaked.
Cashews are are very sweet. Let's see. Over here. I put too many nuts. How many nuts did I put in here? Maybe I'll see. I just soaked all my cashews. I didn't even measure it. But it's good, you know, with this recipe, now you have kind of the template of what
Yeah,
it
we
is.
We do.
So I got about 2 cups. All right. So then that'll tell me about how much water. Okay, so I have 2 cups of nuts. So I'm putting 2 cups of water in, but I'm only going to put about a cup in right now. And then I'll start blending it. And then if I feel like it needs more, then I'll start adding in more water. I do want to say, if you are in need of a new blender, yeah, this is a Pampered Chef promotional, whatever, but they have a glass container. And so I'm really, I have a daughter who needs a high-speed blender. So I may, if I save up for the Pampered Chef blender with the, and it's got, you can make nut butter with it. It's a really nice high-speed blender.
Good one.
And so I'm saving up for that, and then I may gift my youngest daughter with this one. Anyway, so I am going to mute myself so I can use the blender. I will say, if this is a tip or whatever anybody needs to know, when I start blending, especially with something like nuts or harder, okay, oh, maple syrup, yeah. We make our own maple syrup. So that is good to know about the maple syrup. And it's an okay food for me. I do also use honey because we raise honeybees around here. Anyway, I was just looking at Sandy's comment there about what sweetener to use. Anyway, so the tip. I start my blender at the lowest speed and just slowly, you know, do it for about 5-6 seconds, then slowly bring it up until it's at a really high speed. It just helps to grind things a little bit more rather than going right up to high speed right away. Okay, I'm mute myself.
Let me take my yogurt back to the refrigerator. Total silence.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, Lynn's on silent. If you think you're talking to us, there's a problem.
That's right. Thank
Yeah.
you. So thank you. So what I was saying is I'm using my Biome probiotic, and this is made specifically for me, just from my stool sample. And this will actually help thicken up my yogurt even more because it has psyllium husk and acacia fiber. But it also has it has like a lactobacillus acidophilus DDS1, Bacillus coagulans MTCC 5856, Lactobacillus acidophilus NCFM, Bifidobacterium infantis BI26, Bifidobacterium lactis BI07, Lactobacillus plantarum, Bifidobacterium animalis lactis, Lactobacillus fermentum, Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Lactobacillus paracasei, Bifidobacterium breve, and then they have some bacteriophages in there. So, so this is what I'm going to put in mine. I don't blend it in because you want to be really gentle with it, and then I gotta wash my yogurt bowl. Things to remember when I'm going to do this. Make sure everything is washed and ready to go. So anyway, and this is really a good basis, like I said, for the dressings or whatever. If you want to make a big batch, and then like so I will take half of this and I'll put a little bit of vanilla in it, and I'll use that like for my smoothies. And then the other I might just leave plain, and I'll use that for my dips and things like that. So going back again to what we were talking about at the beginning of the class is being prepared. And so just making the yogurt is the basis for so many things. Your dips, your dressings, whatever you want to do. You can also use this too, if you want to take your cheesecloth, or if you have a nut milk bag, then you can use that to make an artisan cheese. What you doing?
You want me to wash your yogurt bowl?
Oh, sorry. Here's a sponge.
You mean you can turn the yogurt we're making into artisan
That's
cheese? The cheeses, the nut cheeses?
You can. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a softer cheese. Yeah, exactly. It can be like a sour cream. It can be like a nacho cheese sauce. It can be the basis for so many things. So yeah, just by making this yogurt. And, you know, we spent most of the time talking. You can see it really took no time at all to actually, you know, spend time. Then you stick it in the dehydrator or wherever you put it. And, you know, that's the rest of the time. But you can be doing other things during that time. And if you keep this up, you can actually keep a little bit of your yogurt back and use that as your starter for your next one.
Oh, like milk.
So,
like milk.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to share that, because that's going to be the basis for so many of your other dishes. Very lovely. My lovely assistant washed my bowl for me.
He looks like a really nice person, Lynn.
Here. Oh, he's a very nice person.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Pampered Chef plug time. This is, I like their spatulas because they have kind of this scoopy effect on it. And
yes,
they don't get all rough and rugged along the edges. So I just wanted to point that out. What I'm gonna do is put a link.
Lynn,
Um,
are those spatulas thick or wobbly?
Oh, they're thick.
Thick, okay.
Then I'm gonna make the smoothie next. And normally I would do some of this stuff on Friday and then get the rest of the stuff done on Saturday. So, but I'll just show you my workaround for now. You can, if you want, juice a little bit of lemon and put like a tablespoon or so of that in there. This is another one of the things. I know Judy was talking about lemons because she has a lemon tree, lucky girl. And she just takes her juice, her citrus blender or juicer. She got the nice one from Pampered Chef. Mine is just like from Walmart. And juice a bunch of lemons and then have them sitting in your refrigerator. So when you need some lemon juice, you just have to do it. You don't have to go through the process over and over again.
Well, actually,
Anyway, so
I
now
got
I'm
a
gonna take,
whole bunch of lemons off my tree because they trimmed the tree, and I juiced them.
Oh.
And I have the big container of juice in the fridge that I'm going to freeze. I'm going to put it in smaller little bottles
Okay.
and freeze.
Yeah.
So just a thought, again, I know this sounds like a Pampered Chef endorsement, but it's not. They have those silicone containers that are meant to go in the freezer. So you might want to look at those. I'm looking at those for like when I make soup and whatever, that I can put them in there and just have individual cups of soup. So that way I can just heat up what I need, or I can send something with my husband to work or whatever. So here I just poured my tube of probiotic and I'm just gonna gently, because you know these are living things, so I don't want to blend them in the blender. So I just gently stir it in. I'm gonna tell you something. It smells really good.
Yeah.
So thank you for that idea, Rose. I've got my parchment paper. Bowl. And let's see. Got my rubber band. Put that over here. And then I'll go put it in my dehydrator. my rubber band popped off. So I've got it in my dehydrator. I put it in for about like 105, between 105 and 110. And so Beatrice, I would love it if you would post a picture, if you don't mind, on our Sage Wisdom Facebook group of what your yogurt looks like, and I'll post what mine does.
Okay.
And that would be yep, on that Sage Wisdom Facebook page. So that would be a good thing. So then you've got yogurt, and you can use that in your smoothies. The other thing, and I thought I had made it ahead of time, but I didn't, is to make chia gel. Somebody gifted this container of chia seeds to me, so that's what I'm using. But you know, you take a little bit of your chia seeds and you mix that in. So I usually do a big batch, so about a quarter cup of chia seeds to about 2 cups of water. And then you just let it sit like overnight. And then you have chia gel. So right there, so you've got a yogurt, you've got a chia gel, and then you just throw it in the blender, and you're good to go. So what I'm going to do, so this is just a regular coconut yogurt. It doesn't have any stuff in it. So I'm just going to use some of that to make this purple smoothie bowl. And you know, these foods are alkaline. I don't know if you guys printed that out or got the alkaline foods guide that I've been sharing in the Sage Wisdom Facebook group. And so these foods are pretty alkaline. They're going to help, and I'm going to talk more about this next Wednesday. So when you signed up for that guide, you should have gotten the information about coming to the call next Wednesday. Would be at 2 o'clock for you, Beatrice. And it would be at 11 for you, Judy and Sandy. And Rose, are you in Ohio? Are you Central or Eastern?
Eastern. I'm in Michigan.
Okay, so yours at, so you're at 2 o'clock as well.
Okay.
That's Wednesday the 14th?
Yeah, and Judy, we'll talk about that party, because one of the hostess prizes can be the rapid mandolin. So
I got that. It's really nice.
yeah, I only have the simple slicer, because that's how they had way back when.
Yeah, that's what I mean that I have. And then it comes with different attachments.
Oh, I went real simple. But the one that they have now is even nicer. And so anyway, I just want, because I know there were a lot of people who were talking about that mandolin, because I used it in Sandy's Pampered Chef party. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm going to
I'm
use
more interested in the quick cooker. There's such a discount on that if you have a party.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amazing discount.
So yeah, we need to talk about that soon, because that's an April discount. So we need to do it
Yep.
soon.
So I'm going to use about a cup of this yogurt. And again, you know, real food for real people. This is what I can get at my grocery store. And so you do the best you can, right? Because sometimes you can have the best food, but you've stressed yourself out making sure you have it. And that's why having foods like this is really good, especially if you make your fermented foods with the probiotics that you know are good for you. That's why I'm really careful when people say, yeah, I take a probiotic. It's like, what's in it? It's a probiotic. You may be building up the wrong gut bacteria for your body. So I don't like just having people take any probiotic. So anyway, I have a cup of yogurt here. So again, showing how the base is here. And then I know now this is going to make me laugh because Sandy was talking about romaine, and so I'm going to use romaine. Romaine has, besides having good fiber, it has the mildest flavor. It also has some really good B vitamins. So I
Well,
have,
that's beautiful.
yeah, I have soaked this. I'm so looking. When I can actually have my garden, I will be so happy. So happy.
Shrimp.
Beautiful kitty.
But yeah, I got this at the local grocery store. So we're gonna chop up about a cup of this.
Okay.
When I do this, I just kind of start at the top and go through. You know, Beatrice and Judy, we should just have a cat show. I'll bring my cat, bring yours. Of course, maybe we could have an animal show because I know Rose has some, just sweet, sweet dogs. And my dog is getting old. When he goes to move, you know, you can tell the hips.
That's my cat. Yeah.
Yeah, so is my cat. We used to have an
she's
English
old.
Mastiff who was humongous and would slobber everywhere and was a sweetheart.
Oh.
One of my dogs lived just one day shy of 16, and when he started having problems moving around, I took him to get acupuncture. It was amazing what it did for him.
That's a great idea.
Wow.
That's an excellent idea.
I found a vet that did Chinese medicine and acupuncture, and we did both, and actually got his liver enzymes that were over 2,000 down to like within 100 points of normal. And I ended up having him a few more years because we were able to do that.
Beautiful.
Acupuncture works.
Oh yeah. Well, my chiropractor, who is an acupuncturist, at least in the state of Minnesota, he's not supposed to do this, but once in a while, if I just happen to see him, he'll kind of slip that in. Not like at his office or anything, but I don't want him to get in trouble because he could actually lose his license if people found out he was doing that to my dog. I don't know. It's my choice, but so anyway, so now I've got some leafy greens here and you can use whatever. Chard is actually a super green for me. So sometimes I use it, but it's also a stronger flavor. And sometimes I just want, and it's lighter. In Chinese medicine, it's just lighter. And we're going through this liver season time. And so I just like to use lighter foods. So here's right in front of me. Okay. So I'm gonna throw some of that in there. Did it help to have the recipes ahead of time?
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. Thank you.
Yep.
That's why I made the yogurt, because I saw it in your recipes. If not, I would have not done it.
Okay. Well, see, this is the other thing too, is I know I like to watch cooking shows and say, oh, someday I'm going to make that, and then I don't. And it's like, well, if I can encourage you to actually make that, you can do this along with me. So I've got some frozen blueberries. And about a half a
hearing everybody's ideas too, how they do things.
It is, yeah. And again, you know, and you'll hear Dr. Reed Marie say this too. You know, this is just an idea. So, you know, use what you can use. So blueberries and blackberries are actually really good for your third eye. And again, because we have this full moon coming up, it's really important that we have our third eye and our pineal gland as decalcified as possible. And this can help with that. So your psychic intuitive abilities, and it's not like psychic, ooh, but it's just your circadian rhythm and everything works much better when your pineal gland is a little more clear. So I'm going to use of these.
I never realized before that berries are high oxalate.
Some berries are, and again, so this is the thing. So I have some people I work with that have oxalate issues, but when I did the Viome test, something like, and it showed that they had oxalate issues, and yet they could have something like chia seeds, which are considered a high oxalate food. So just because it's on the list doesn't mean it's going to affect your body negatively.
Okay.
And that's just why I like doing that test, because if you just say, well, I can't eat oxalates, suddenly there's this sensation of being really restricted.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
That's how it feels?
Yeah, because I had a kidney stone and it stayed in the tube, so they had to go and get it. And
Yeah, I remember that.
then I had a
It
stent.
wasn't oxalate stone?
Well, he couldn't grab it because it was too close to the kidney. He ended up blasting it so well that
So
I
they
never,
weren't able to test
even
it?
though I was
Know what
screaming,
kind it
I
was?
didn't get anything. So I had to do a 2-day urine test, and my oxalates are 63, but they're supposed to be 40. So now I'm not supposed to have greens and nuts and seeds and all this stuff. And it's like everything I've been eating. So I just,
Yeah. Well,
I'm not happy with mealtime right now.
yeah, I can imagine. So, if you're interested, let me know and I can send you a code for $10 off your Viome test. And you can just, it's a stool
Okay.
sample and it will tell you which foods. So it tests off of RNA. And so it tells you what's actually going on in your gut and the foods that are your superfoods and the foods that are your kryptonite. And then we can see what else is going on. Because, you know, kidney stones are not always an oxalate stone. There's other types of kidney stones. If you did not already get that alkaline guide that I put together, it talks about kidneys and testing your pH and all of that. And these foods can help your kidneys as well. So,
Okay. Yeah, because right now he's got on there no kale, no chard, no no green beans. I mean, it's just, I'm amazed at all the stuff that's on there that
well, that's a
berries.
general, yeah, and that's a general list of what the oxalate levels are. And do you want to know, there are a lot of oxalate lists out there, and they don't always agree. So, and it also has to do with the amount of oxalate. So like you said, there are low oxalate, medium oxalate, and high oxalate foods. And it's okay to kind of go between 50 and 100 milligrams of oxalate foods a day. I would say probably categorically, yeah, stay away from spinach. It is, especially if it's raw. When you cook your oxalate foods, the oxalic acid is leached out, so the oxalate is gone. The other thing too is you want to build up your microbiome, because it's not the oxalates in the food that are the issue, it's that you don't have the oxalobacter to metabolize the oxalics, the oxalic acid. So I just want to, sorry, got going there. So this is what I'm currently using for my, I don't know if you can see that.
Says super something on it.
Yeah, it's Pure Thai is the brand,
Pure
and
Thai.
it's Pure Super Blend. This is what I'm currently using as my protein powder. Part of why I got it because they for every bag I buy, they donate a bag to needy children. So I kind of like that idea. And it's, you know, it's green. So I'm just putting a scoop of that in there. And it has things in there like, where is it? It is a pea protein. So if you don't do well with pea protein, this wouldn't be as good. It has artichoke leaf. It does have stevia, dandelion root, spirulina, sunflower lecithin, inulin, wheatgrass juice powder, barley grass, chlorella, papaya fruit, beetroot, rose hips, broccoli sprouts, tomatoes, carrots, bilberry fruit, blueberries, spinach, kale, ginger root, slippery elm, kelp. Anyway, and it has some other things. But anyway, that's what I'm currently using. So I've got that in there.
Lynn, what's the name of it again, please?
The brand,
Yes?
sure. It's, can you see that at all?
No, I can't see it.
Yep, it's Puritai. P as in Peter, U-R-A, T as in Tom, A-E.
And who's the brand? Sunfood?
That's the brand.
Sunfood's the
Puritai.
brand?
So the Puritai.com.
Okay. And what's the product called again?
Pure Super Blend.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, where am I? Coconut oil. Again, this is a template. If you don't do well with coconut or coconut oil, you don't have to. It's just a good fat. If you want to use borage oil is really good. Actually, if your digestion or your system does well with it, ghee is really good. Ghee is more warming, so I tend to, especially in the winter, use ghee. If you're having butyrate issues, there's it's made from dairy milk, but it's a butyrate. Basically, it looks like butter, it's like a ghee, but all the allergenic things like the whey and the casein and all that are taken out of it, and it's just pure butyrate. So if you have issues with butyrate, that's something else you could use instead. I'm going to be using a banana. I like my bananas kind of as green as possible, especially it is a superfood for me, but it also is a good prebiotic at that point. So it's feeding my good probiotics. And bananas actually are a source of a B vitamin called peroxidine. And peroxidine is also good for your brain, your eyes, your nervous system, all that stuff. And like I said, it does not raise my blood sugar. If you want to use an avocado instead, you can do that. The sky's the limit. And then let's see here. So I'm going to put some hemp seeds in there. And I did not soak my chia seeds. Normally I would put in chia gel instead of just the chia seeds themselves, but that's okay. So this is, again, I'm talking, but it's actually a really quick breakfast, especially if you've already got your probiotic made, or your yogurt made. And then I put it here somewhere. Where did I put it? Probably looking right at it. I was. Coconut. So I'm going to put some raw shredded coconut in there. And really that's it. It's going to be thick, but because I am just using the yogurt, but what I'm going to do is that as I make it, is I look at it and then I will add some of my hazelnut milk in if I feel I need to. You can add water in instead if you want to. So you can kind of see like that. If you want to add more greens in, it's just, you've got lots of good fats in here, lots of good omegas, things that are that can alkalinize. And this is the other thing too about alkalizing. You don't want to just always eat alkaline foods, because then you can actually go into alkalosis. You want to have a balance. But because our systems tend to be more acid, especially with stress, you want to eat more alkaline foods, but you still are going to eat some foods that have an acid content because you want the balance. All right, I'm going to mute myself here. All right. All right, so now you can see it's purpley, and
Ooh,
I like mine a little thick. If you want it thinner, you add more liquid.
that looks really good. That looks delicious.
Mm. Mm,
That looks delicious.
really delicious. My husband would even eat this. So I'm gonna make him a glass. This is one of those things I would probably make, and then I might even have it in the evening. So I like to have my main meal in the middle of the day, I do eat breakfast. I'm just one of those. I don't do terribly well with intermittent fasting. It just depends, but I also don't eat a big meal at the end of the day. So, hey, Mark, come here. You want to try it? I have my own here. That's yours.
This?
Yeah.
I better say, ooh, yum, goody goody. Okay, that was scary, but this is good. Sometimes the stuff she makes, yeah, you know. Okay, I'm gonna finish this. It is good. Tastes like blueberries.
Well, interesting because blueberries are in there.
Lynn,
Yes.
he sounds just like my husband. You know, sometimes the stuff I make is sort of wee.
Oh.
It's all right. It's all good.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So I know I had a couple of extra. You can have it. I think. Nope, I need that. I'm gonna make the dressing because I saw the time. But you know, the salad and the soup and everything. Maybe I'll do a Facebook Live and show making a salad. But you've got the recipes there. Again, the whole idea is that you have these things ahead of time. So when you make a salad, whether it's this one here or anything else, you're ready. This with the dressings too. I would, if I know I'm going to be out and I'm not sure where I'm going to go or anything like that, I might bring a container with some dressing.
Yeah, I do.
And then if I end up going out, then I can get a salad and just use my own dressing. So anyway. I'm just gonna rinse off. Well, actually, with this dressing, I don't have to use my blender. So with this dressing, I just put it in a jar
And shake
and
it.
shake it. Yeah. So
Lynn, when you take things out like dressing, when you go out, do you put it in a little silicone jar
Yes.
or in a little glass jar?
well, I have both. It depends. With the creamy ones, I like the glass jar.
Okay. Yeah, because then you have to lick the silicone jar. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a more oil vinegar or vinaigrette type, I'll use the little silicone ones that they even have at my grocery store. And it's really nice because it's almost like you can just squeeze it.
Squeeze it. That's right. Thank you.
And that again is we're having, you know, maybe some nuts and seeds or something that you can eat along with you because you can throw that onto the salad. Okay. And again, for the seasonings, I'm just using the garlic and the onion powder. Use whatever you have or you want. Using herbs is really helpful. If you have, you know, it's springtime. If you've got some nettles coming up or dandelions or whatever, you can actually chop those up and put it in. Watercress is really nice. Rosemary, thyme, whatever it is that speaks to you. But you've got your basis here for creamy dressing with your yogurt.
I
And
I put in cilantro and I blend it, and a lot of cilantro because I
I love
like it,
cilantro. Yes.
and it's delicious. It really is
Yes.
good.
I like cilantro. I've been really using watercress, and they're a little similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can experiment with that. Where am I? Okay, dill. Oh, and one other thing. I, I just got this, so I'm excited to use it. It's an herb keeper. So like the cilantro or parsley or any, you get these herbs and they feel like they go to waste so fast. So you can put it in here, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
looked
I
at that
love
and
that.
prioritized my purchases, and that didn't make it.
Okay, if so that's, I've been collecting Pampered Chef stuff, I don't know, probably 20 years. So I'll be using that to keep my herbs in. You can actually put like the root ball in here and keep it fresh.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
So yeah, so I wanted to.
Lynn, is it plastic?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
But it is BPA free. Because I did check that out. They have some really nice things, but then they're plastic, and it's like, well, yeah. So there's just, I have a variety of herb keeper things, and so I can never have too many. Let's see, so where my dill. And again, do as, some people like dill and some people don't. So do whatever you like. And that is good for you. So like some of the Italian spices are ones that I'm using a lot these days. I'm not chopping it really fine. I suppose I should. My feeling is put a lot in, like Beatrice was saying, and then it goes into my salad anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to mince or chop it up or anything. Really
Excuse me.
put some parsley in. Where's my parsley? Probably again right in front of me. I did get some fennel. So, you don't need to see that. Here we go, fennel. So I'm going to be using that later to make soup. And I will put some in my salad. Well, I'm not seeing my parsley. I could have sworn I just had it here. My parsley has left the building. Okay, I found it. So I'm just gonna, and again, I'm not going to dice it all up. You can if you want to. If you decide to blend it, you can do that as well. You don't have to chop it up that way. And then, so have you said you've used your citrus juicer, right, Judy?
What's that?
You've used your citrus juicer for your lemons?
Lots of lemons.
And the
Had a
juicer
huge-
helped though, right?
Hmm?
The juicer helped.
A lot. It was a lot better than the old juicer I had. Haven't used the zesting piece of it though, really. I need to zest a few before I'm done.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Again, everybody is surprised when I tell them that lemon is actually a very alkaline food. It's probably one of the most alkaline juices or fruits, because it's what happens, what it turns into. Your body, after it metabolizes it, turns it into an alkaline ash. So I'm gonna put some of that in there.
I did not add the lemon to the yogurt like you had in the recipe.
Oh, you don't have to.
I didn't know. Well, I like the flavor of it sour, so.
Yeah, it's just
But
some people like that. Some people just like that. You don't have to use salt and pepper if you don't want to. Again. So you can see it actually makes quite a bit. And this will last me a couple of weeks. So it's not thick, even though you would think with all that yogurt, but because you put the liquids in.
So
And-
you'll keep it in the refrigerator for 2 weeks?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely the refrigerator. Has a really ranchy taste to it. So if you like ranch dressing,
That's the one we'll try.
this is the one you want to try. Ooh, I really like that. I could just eat this.
Yeah.
Yum. Yum.
Yeah. So you can, I know I didn't make all of the recipes, but you've got them there now that you can try on your own. I will consider doing another, like a Facebook Live, and if there's one of those recipes that you would like, you could choose one recipe that I would do as a Facebook Live. You can let me know. Yes, I am definitely recording this. Rose, I think that's Rose who said that. Somebody said that. I can't find my mouse.
The macaroon balls is the one I'm going to make next.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Sandy. Yes, there definitely is a replay, Sandy. I'm recording this. So, maybe I'll do a Facebook Live on the macaroon balls, because that is one that does not take a lot of time. So, and that lends itself well to a Facebook Live. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn.
So much for being here, and whether you know it or not, your support is invaluable to me. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And I am just open and receptive to what other ideas or suggestions you have. Like I said, this is my first time doing it all on my own. And well, I'll do it if you think it's good, I will do it again next month. My goal is to do it the first Saturday
I
of
think
each
it's very
month.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Wonderful.
like that you are giving us the recipes ahead of time.
That's very generous. Very nice.
That is very
helpful.
nice, because we can see what's going on, and we can write on them and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I know I like that. And, again, if you are in your own kitchen and want to do it along with me, you can do that too.
Yeah, that could be fun. I think that could be fun. I didn't get it together. I was putting together my own smoothie while you were doing yours, and then you gave me some ideas,
Okay.
reminders.
Ah, you should have
reminders.
shown
Your
it to us.
Yeah, what was in your smoothie?
Well, it's the regular greens, lettuces, and arugula, some parsley,
I got arugula over here.
cucumber, celery. It'll have onions and garlic, and what else? Onions and garlic. Oh, I'll put some coconut yogurt in it.
Okay. There you go. See, and this is what's interesting. Garlic is a food I am supposed to avoid right now.
Aha.
So, and I have to minimize onions. So, yeah, broccoli, cabbage, although I can have sauerkraut, but broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprouts are on my avoid list. Alfalfa sprouts are on my avoid list. What else? Tomatoes. So when you get your tomatoes, I'll just throw this out there. When you get your tomatoes, talk to the grower if it's at all possible, because there was a virus that was going through tomatoes a couple of years ago, and it's still affecting people with this brown ribose virus, and it's inflammatory. They're doing studies and finding it's inflammatory to people. So it's not that tomatoes are bad for me. It's just that my system was showing this virus from the tomatoes. So.
Wow. Thank you for that information.
Thank you. Lynn, where can we get that test that you talk about, that biome test?
The biome test, I tell you what, I'll put the link in there, my referral link or whatever you want to call it, because then you can get a discount. I'll put that link in the Facebook group.
Thank you.
You got the paper
Yeah, and honestly, test price wise, it's one of the less expensive tests out there.
Perfect.
But I was, I don't know if you know who Dr. Zach Bush is, but he was talking about gut testing, and he felt that this was the best gut test out there. So,
Don't tell him anything.
all right.
Yeah, I'm interested in the biome test too. I still haven't done that.
Yeah.
A discount would help.
Yep. Every little bit helps. And sometimes if you are on their mailing list, sometimes they have specials as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, all right. Thank you, ladies.
I have something to ask you though.
Yes.
I think this is just my opinion, okay? I think you don't have to turn off the sound when you are going to the blender.
Okay.
I think we know you're blending, and we know those machines make a heck of a lot of sound. So we really I don't think you really have to.
Okay.
Now,
Thank you.
I'm getting involved with some unsolicited advice. Are you willing to take it?
I asked for it, didn't I?
Okay. My father was an attorney, and my husband's a businessman, so I'm in between two stuffed walls. Okay, the first time I taught anything cooking like you're doing was way back in '95, and it was the University of Chihuahua in the city of Juarez. And my father couldn't go because he had cancer and he was in bed. But he asked to see. He said, I heard your mother told me. I heard it was very good. Why don't you tell me what you taught people to cook? And he was shocked because it was vegetarian food, okay? So he read all the recipes and I could see his face saying, I don't understand what this is about. But he turned around and he told me something very important. And this is what I'm going to tell you. He said, always in your front page, put the name of your business. And underneath you put your name, your websites were not important then. I don't think people even had it. All the information of how to get in touch with you. you do the same with
On the
every
second,
page.
yeah, I have,
Well,
well, if
every
you look at
page.
my guide, my
But-
outline, yeah,
But there's one more thing. He said, get a watermark and put it on the paper.
oh,
With your business name on it, because when people make copies and you want them to make copies of your recipes to pass them around, your name is already on it.
Yeah, that's,
yeah,
That's
that's a
a
good,
good
yeah.
point.
very
So
good.
you put on
Very
every
good
page
point.
now. This inside pages, the name of your business can be small on top, and underneath, just put your name and your contact information. Tiny, tiny little font. But the
Yeah.
watermark in the center. Now you can get it free at Microsoft Office, I think. Make sure the business
think so.
name is in the watermark. Don't just put a pretty little flower in it, okay? That doesn't work. You want a pretty little
Yeah.
flower with your business name on it. And then
Okay,
people will make copies of these recipes because they're good. Okay? I have a friend who keeps asking me, please give me a recipe for cauliflower crust for pizza. Because my daughter is buying those $30 ones at the
Oh, yeah.
store and they're too expensive. Please get it for me. I haven't found one because she's not raw. It's one that can be
Oh.
put in the oven. But the ones I see, they all have what I'm talking about. Now, my father told me that in 1995, okay? I've never forgotten that.
that's a good idea.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know on my
Consider it.
guides,
Just
I
consider
put
it,
that
okay?
stuff in there.
Just
Yeah.
and in every page, up here, and of course in the back, wherever you have recipes,
Mhm.
just do it. And the watermark.
Just do it. All
Just
right,
do it.
right.
That's
That's it.
excellent.
And if you're angry with me, tell me it's none of
Oh
my
gosh,
business, then
no,
I'll
that's a
agree with
great
you.
idea. No,
I will agree with you.
just, I have things on the footer of my guide, and I just, because this was just something I put together and I didn't think about it.
And I
So-
know, and people will pass it around, and
Yeah.
people will say, "Try this because it's really very good."
Mhm.
And it's not like as if you're copying. Recipes are awfully difficult to copyright. I don't think you can do that because they're
No,
just
be-
ingredients.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and it's not about that. It's about getting credit for what you are doing. Is what my father told me. You want credit
Huh.
where credit is due. You're doing
And
this.
Lynn, you have been creating a lot of all kinds of things that people copy. So it should
That's
be on
right.
all those programs. I mean,
They
so many things you've been doing, so many.
Yeah.
So
But that's
just-
really good. I mean, I've certainly thought about headers and footers on things to get credit for it, but a watermark, because it's real easy to cut off a footer.
That's right.
Yeah.
With the watermark, it's there. It has the
Yeah.
company name, and that's all. And the pretty flower, if that's what you want, or dandelion, whatever. It doesn't matter. A horse jumping in the wind, whatever.
The lotus petals.
Whatever it is, it just and my father said that. Now, I didn't give another cooking class for years after that. In fact, it was my Buddhist teacher who was going to give a full day webinar there, and he needed someone to fill in a spot so he could rest, and he just sort of dragged me and said, "You should be doing this, okay?" But my father, he said, your recipe's fine. I'm sure they're fine. He said, if people like them, then they know more about it than I do. But he said, as a businesswoman, you have to learn certain things. And this is important. You want people to copy your recipes. Okay? Every handout that you give should have everything that I talked about, okay? Every handout. This is how you wash your hands. It's
Every,
the the
Yeah.
name on top, the information at the bottom, and the watermark with your business name on it. Every handout that you give.
I will
I
definitely
just
look
made your life
at.
more difficult. I'm sorry.
Not a
right,
bit.
more
No,
work.
probably made it more. I know you enhanced it, so I totally appreciate that.
You're in business. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
We help each other in business. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
And I was
That's
going to
important.
call you and say, please call me up, but then I said, no, she doesn't know. She's not going to know what I'm talking about, and she's going to be busy. So, so it's just taking your business up a step up. It's important. It's important for you. So you do it like that.
Yes, I will.
That's it.
Thank you. Yes,
And everything else was delicious.
wonderful.
So thank you, Lynn.
Well, this is, like I said, I'm just kind of inching in because I want to create a membership community for people like you guys, where you'll have ready access to recordings and to the guides and all that stuff, and we can talk like this. Nothing hardcore or mandatory.
By the way, you have a really nice kitchen
So,
also. My kitchen is tiny.
Oh.
Okay, my kitchen is tiny.
right, it is. That was the selling point for me. 7 kids. I needed a big kitchen, and
Yeah.
and so I am entirely grateful for it. Thank you.
So we'll see you soon then.
All right,
Thank you, Lynn.
you're so
Bye, everyone.
welcome.
Bye,
Enjoy the
everyone.
rest of your weekend.
Now that I made
If
her
you make
think.
any of this stuff, let
Make
us
her life
know.
miserable.
Fun
have,
to be with you. Fun
Have a nice-
to be with you.
have a nice new moon tomorrow, okay?
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.